Good morning. How are y'all doing today? Y'all doing okay today? I'm I'm getting ready to start my day. And I just checked out of the hotel, Econo Lodge Inn and Suites at um Horn Lake / South Haven, Mississippi. I relatively enjoyed my stay. As you know, I had recently announced that I am going to be chronicalizing and blogging my experiences as a homeless content creator. Um, More on my social media platforms because I think it's very interesting what I've been experiencing. And to be honest, to be quite frankly honest, I really feel like this could be a reality show. Okay, the things that I have been experiencing out here in these homeless streets is unbelievable. And a lot of people probably would not even believe me if I told them with my mouth. So, with that being said, come along on this journey with me as I show you a lot of what I have been experiencing. I wish I had been recording more, these past several weeks, but I think I'll be writing about it. I think I'm going to write a book about my experiences as a homeless content creator, as a homeless person, period. Especially a homeless black person, a homeless black woman. You know, it hits real different when you're a single black woman out here in these homeless streets. And we don't talk about this enough. And I feel like I have the courage and the backbone to be that person to talk about it and to walk in my truth and live in my truth. A lot of people want to only show you how they live their best life or their best lie. And I'm a realist. I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the otherwise. You know, I live my truth and hide nothing at all. And yeah, it's very, very interesting what I have been experiencing. And let's talk about it as it relates to the Econolodge. I just left. I was going to renew and extend my stay at the Econolodge in South Haven / Horn Lake, Mississippi. But the disrespect was too much for me. And yeah, so I paid for the past 2 days, and it's very expensive. These hotels are very, very expensive. And um for the 2 days that I stayed, each day was $85. So you do the math, okay? For these past 2 days, it was $85. And yeah, that was like 189 for these 2 days. So it would have been a little over $600 if I had extended my stay for another week. And I was going to do it. I was on the bottom floor, and I ordinarily, whether I'm staying in an apartment or a hotel, I ordinarily would never stay on the bottom floor because of all that noise on the top floor, all that stomping and scraping the floor from the people above with the chairs and the tables. I don't know what they be doing up there and stomping back and forth, and they never sit down, so it seems. And I can't stand that. And I work overnight. And even if I wasn't working, I wouldn't want to hear all that noise. I would not want to be disturbed. And a lot of people are not considerate of other people. A lot of people have not been raised right. A lot of people are on drugs, and they constantly walk because their nerves are bad. And I don't want to have to share that with them, okay? I'm so glad that I was taught at an early age by my mom and so many other people in my family and community to get somewhere and sit your ass down, okay, and be still and be quiet. I live by that. That's instilled in me from an early age, and I thank my mom. I thank God for my mom. I thank God for home training. Okay, a lot of people have not been home trained, and it shows. Okay, a lot of people could really benefit from some home training, and it's too bad that a lot of people haven't had any home training. A lot of people haven't had any home training, and they're not training their children. They're not training their children, such as the people that operate the Econolodge in Horn Lake / South Haven, Mississippi. They live there. Some of those people that work there, the Indians, I don't know how they have a monopoly over the hotels across America, but they do. I don't know how they get that hookup, how they get that plug, but they do. And in my opinion, some of them are racist against a lot of blacks. And how you going to be racist against blacks and you just as dark as I am, if not darker? And it was an older Indian there. He kept on walking around looking at me sideways and under-eyed like he's the security guard. Okay, he want to designate himself, in my opinion, as a security guard. He watching me real close, but he wasn't watching Pookie and Ray Ray and Junebug that was probably high as a AT&T phone bill under the influence of drugs and doing a lot of scrupulous things in the hotel along with Shanika and Keisha them. Yeah, he wasn't watching them, I guess, because they played for the same diabolical team and things. So yeah, and I thought it was very interesting, and I wonder, was it a coincidence this morning while I was sitting in my car, and the other day while I was sitting in my car minding my own business. And it's a shame that I can't sit in my own car in peace. But Shanika and Ray Ray and Pookie and Ray Ray, they can sit in their car and do whatever they want to do and smoke their drugs. Maybe if I was on drugs, it'll be okay. But the children of God, we are under attack in this day and time. Satan's people are constantly monitoring us. They got monitoring spirits, and they constantly watching us. We are under surveillance all the time. Have y'all noticed that? The children of God, those of you that are children of God. And, you know, we're living in a reprobate society where right is wrong, wrong is right, up is down, and all, you know. So everything is totally in opposite. Everything is different now. And Satan has recruited his people, and they are out here. Okay? They are out here doing the devil's work. So anyway, I thought it was interesting this morning while I was sitting in my car and minding my own business, using my phone, trying to make some connections to get out of this situation as it relates to homelessness. And Satan don't want me to get out of these homeless circumstances. He wants me to stay here. He wants to swallow me up in this homelessness. And while I was on the phone trying to conduct some business and let one thing lead to another as it relates to housing, a very prospective housing situation that was presented to me this morning, the older Indian that lives and works at the Econolodge, he just kept on walking around eyeballing me, as well as those other Indians. Yeah, looking at me sideways. I wasn't bothering nobody. I wasn't causing no disturbance. But they kept on watching me and looking at me like I was doing something wrong, sitting in my car, minding my own business, talking on my phone. Okay? And a few minutes later, here comes the police driving around patrolling. Maybe that's something they ordinarily do, but I suspect that older Indian is, or one of them probably called them and said it was some suspicious activity. A big back black woman is sitting in the parking lot. She looks suspicious. You know how they do. They get on the phone. You're not going to see them on the phone dropping a dime on you, causing problems for you, trying to get you to be the next Sandra Bland. Yeah, I know how they do. I know how they operate. They real diabolical and sneaky. Okay, so the police comes around driving slow around my vehicle, in front of my vehicle, looking at me, and he drove away, and then he went a few yards away where he could sit on top of the hill where there was some other hotels and park where he could really keep me on the surveillance. I knew what was going on. I knew what was going on, but nevertheless, I didn't even try to focus on that. I went ahead, minding my own business, and it's a shame that Pookie and Ray Ray don't get that kind of energy. It would be great if they called the police on Pookie and Ray Ray and Junebug and Keisha and Shanika them, and have them under surveillance, and have them have the police patrol them and watch them. Okay, it will really be great if they could get that kind of energy. But anyway, so let's go back. Let's go back to when I first checked into the Econolodge in South Haven / Horn Lake 2 or 3 days ago. So I thought it was very disrespectful. As we know, those of you may not know about this, but a lot of these hotels are real. They're operating real nasty. Okay, it's being reported by a lot of people on social media that they're going to a lot of these hotels across America, and a lot of them are opting to take their own sheets because the sheets are not clean. They're not changing the sheets at the hotels. They're having bed bugs at the hotels, and they're not disclosing this information to the guests. And I think that's real low down. You got these fucking bed bugs and you're not telling the guests, and you're not closing off that room and getting it serviced for bed bugs by pest control, and you're letting unsuspecting guests check into these rooms and be infected by bed bugs. That's real low down, okay? And they should disclose that. Not only should they disclose that, they should also disclose the fact that they have their children there. A lot of these Indians that operate and own these hotels, they live at these hotels and they have their children there, such as was the situation with me these past 2 days. I work overnight, so I need to sleep during the day, okay? Let me say this before I say that. Before I go any further, there's two kind of homeless people. There's the working homeless people, and there's the unemployed homeless people. I'm in the category of the working homeless people. Okay, there's a lot of us out here. There's a whole community of us out here, and a lot of the homeless people sleeping in their cars, sleeping at hotels, sleeping wherever the hell they can find refuge. Okay, until they can do better. So the difference between the last time I was homeless and this time that I'm homeless, last time I was not employed, so it made things a little bit more challenging, and I had to pretty much resort to staying in my car. And thank God I had a vehicle at the time. And a lot of people are not as fortunate enough to have a vehicle to stay in. That is a good thing to to have a vehicle and you can park it somewhere. But a lot of cities and towns, they have made it illegal to be homeless. So a lot of people have been arrested for being homeless, and I never thought I'd see the day where it would be illegal to be homeless. You can't even be homeless in peace. So then a lot of people who are homeless, they would rather go to jail. At least they would have a little cot to sleep on and have a air conditioning when it's hot outside, and heater when it's cold outside, and food that's guaranteed. Even if it's not good food, it is something better than nothing. But anyway, so this time, being that I'm homeless, and we don't even need to discuss the circumstances leading up to this point. It is what it is, and that'll be another video for another day. But the fact of the matter is, I am so fortunate to, still have a job during this time. So that's making it, a little bit easier for me. And even though it's very expensive and it's really eating through my money staying at these hotels, I am glad to be able to stay at a hotel. Okay. And or until I can do better. So there is a lot of places that I could go as far as apartments, houses, but it's very expensive right now. It's very, very expensive right now. And then you got to go through all these different criteria to be accepted and all of this. And if the place, most of the places that are in a decent safe area is very expensive. So let's say you can find a one bedroom. Most of the one bedrooms are going to start at, whether it's a house or an apartment, it's going to start at, or whether it's even an efficiency or a studio apartment or whatever the case may be, it's going to start at relatively what, $1,300, $1,500. So most of these people, and I even have been seeing this, which makes absolutely no sense. A lot of these people, they're taking advantage of these people right now. A lot of people are going through hardships. A lot of people have money. They're rich. They're living their best rich life, whether they scam to get the money or got a PPP loan the right way or whatever the case may be, or they got a good career or whatever the case may be. So they're not affected right now, but they might be affected later on. But nevertheless, okay, say for instance, you can find a place that is $1,500 and you by yourself. You don't have a spouse, you don't have a partner, you don't have a family that is supportive and helping you, or you don't have monetization on your social media where you're making six figures or a whole lot of money otherwise or whatever. So, okay, if it's just you and you have just regular employment, and okay, they require it, like I was getting ready to say, some of these people, they're taking advantage. I have been seeing even people wanting to charge $1,500 for one room in a house, like a room in a house situation. And that's crazy to me. $1,500 for one room. And a lot of times it may not even have a private bathroom or a private entrance. Okay. And you may or may not have access to washer and dryer or the other part of the house. So you just got one room paying $1,500. I even saw somebody online that was charging way more, way more. And a lot of these houses, whether it be 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, or whatever, a lot of people in the nicer neighborhoods, they're charging $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $7,000, even $9,000. I even saw one in Olive Branch, Mississippi, $15,000 a month. Yeah. And hey, I feel like if you can afford $15,000 or $9,000 or $7,000, $5,000 a month to rent, you might as well buy it. That doesn't even make any sense. And why would anybody have, the nerve to pay $1,500 for one room, rent one room, when you can get a whole house for or a whole apartment for $1,500? It makes no sense. And this place that I saw that was in South Haven, there was a black guy renting out the rooms in the house. He was charging $1,500 a month, and of course they want a deposit. And he required a 740 credit score. And I'm like, this is crazy. And I told him this via the messenger on Facebook. Okay, most people who got a 740 credit score, they're not renting rooms. And so many of these people, they're so ignorant, and they're just looking at what other people are doing and trying to copycat what other people are doing in order to make some money. And they're so greedy for money, they're willing to exploit their own community. And I think that's wrong. Okay? But hey, and so okay, getting back to this. Okay, staying at the Econolodge here in South Haven / Horn Lake, Mississippi. Okay, these people have their kids there. And I feel like you should disclose that. And I had a little dispute with one of the people that worked there. He may be an owner, I don't know. But he had dark circles around his eyes like a raccoon, and had the nerve to get nasty with me this morning when I honestly gave him my honest opinion about my experience. And I told him, because he was asking me, because it was in the computer. He saw the notes in the computer that I was going to be staying a week. I was going to extend my stay and stay a week. And he asked me, oh, you're not going to stay another week? I said, no. I said, it's too noisy. It's too busy around this little area where I would be staying. And you got your kids here. They're busy. They're noisy. He said, and he got offended when I said that. And he said, well, the kids have a right to play. And I said, I should have a right to peace and quiet and enjoyment. According to the law, I have right to quiet enjoyment. Look it up, Google it. Yes, as a renter, whether I'm renting an apartment, a house, or a hotel, I have a right as a tenant, as a guest at a hotel, to quiet enjoyment. Yeah. So he got so upset with me, and I guess because, he took that as a personal attack because these are his kids and they got their bicycles out there riding their bicycles all in front of my door. I'm trying to get some sleep. And he told me, well, you need to get your sleep at night. I said, I work at night. He said, well, that's too bad. The kids got the right to play whenever they want to. I said, I got the right to sleep when I want to. Who is he to dictate my terms and conditions as it relates to my sleep? If I pay my money, I can sleep whenever the hell I want to sleep. The hell? And I told him, I said, if you're going to have your kids staying here playing all in front of the doors, that's disrespectful to the guests. I can't speak for everybody, but I can certainly speak for myself. And I matter, especially if I'm paying my hard-earned money. I think that's low down of you to have your kids here and you don't disclose that to your guests way before we even check in. You should have a sign up here and even a picture of your kids riding their bike and telling the guests, look, you're going to be subjected to all this disturbance from our kids riding their bike all in front of your door, disturbing the hell out of you. Because they're kids. They got the right to do that, according to the guy behind the desk. Yeah, according to him, his kids can play and disturb and be as loud as they want to because they're kids. That is low down as hell, in my opinion. You got these people coming from near and far, paying their hard-earned money, and then they want to get some sleep. And you got your kids out there riding their bikes and yelling and screaming and jumping up and down. That is low down as hell, in my opinion. It's not a playground. It's a hotel. That's what I mean. These hotels are not like they used to be. Oh my God. I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see the day. Why would you have your kids living at the hotel and playing all around the front door of the guests? That is so disrespectful. And oh my God, even if I was in the hotel room having sex, I don't want no kids in front of my door listening to me bopping and grinding and oohing and ahhing and things. I want to be able to throw my legs to the moon in peace. What if I'm in there sucking dick? I want to suck dick in peace. I don't want to hit no kids outside my door while I'm sucking dick. If I was sucking dick or getting myself licked on, I want to be getting licked on in peace. Okay? Shit. I don't want to hear no kids outside my door playing around. Okay? Ooh, that's crazy to me. Is it crazy to anybody else? Or is it acceptable to y'all? I know a lot of y'all let y'all kids play outside y'all door while y'all sucking dick in your house. I'm not talking to y'all because that's crazy to me right there too. Okay, that might be normal to a lot of y'all, but that's not normal to me. Okay, that's unacceptable. Okay, and it's diabolical too. Okay, but anyway, yeah, he got mad at me. He got mad at me because I said he should not have those kids out there playing around, and I'm trying to get some sleep. Even if I didn't want to go to sleep, I want some peace and quiet. I don't want to hear all that outside that door. Okay. And baby, I had the air conditioning going, and it still did not create a buffer between that room and those kids outside that door. And if that wasn't enough, he got them heifers, them Mexican heifers and them Indian heifers that's supposed to be the housekeepers. Oh, they got a designated area right beside my room, the housekeeping room. They got a little hotel room, and they're designated as their little powwow room where they go in there and powwow. And I think one of them live in that one, because the little boy yesterday, when I went to my car to get something and came back, there he goes looking outside the door at me, and had his mouth open looking at me. Hey. And I said to myself, hey, hell, done disturbed the fuck out of me all this evening. I was so mad. I was so mad. And had to go to work at last night. I was so tired. And oh my God, these people with kids and dogs and these cigarette smokers and dope smokers, they get on my nerves. Okay, y'all are some of the most, not all of y'all, but a lot of y'all are some of the most inconsiderate people I ever seen in my life. Damn. Whew. And what if I was a kidnapper? There go your kid outside unsupervised. Okay, looking at me with his mouth open, riding the bike and things. Okay, what if I was a kidnapper? Your kid would be kidnapped, and there you go, lying like you was tending to him, and you wasn't tending to him. A lot of these people don't tend to their kids. Okay, they just let the kids just do whatever they want to do, and if your kids is outside, you should be outside too. Okay, you are the one that gap your legs open and got screwed raw dog. Okay, without a condom, and got the kids out here. You are the one that voluntarily did that. You are responsible for your kids and your dogs and whatever else. Okay? Just let the dogs and the children disturb people. That's low down. That is low down. And then the people that smoke cigarettes and smoke dope. Okay, why don't y'all go to the park? Why don't y'all go in the woods with all of that right there? Oh, you're so inconsiderate and low down. Oh, and you can't. Oh, they have made going to the hotel just miserable. They have made going to the hotel a living hell. Now look at this nosy motherfucker done came and pulled up over here beside me out of everywhere they could have parked. They come bring their garbage ass over here by me. Whew. And look, and then they white. You know, and she looking like she finna be low down too. And call the police. Oh, this a big back black woman over here looking suspicious. And she the one brought her ass over here, her and her husband. I can't even sit in these parking lots in peace, minding my own business and do my life. Whew! Bad. It's just terrible out here. These monitoring spirits, they everywhere. Everywhere I try to go. But anyway, yeah. So now I'm getting ready to go to another small baby. Listen, I might as well be a truck driver. I'm going from town to town, city to city in pursuit of peace and happiness. Damn, all I want is some peace and quiet where I can go to motherfucking sleep after I get out of work. I worked all night last night, and they tried to work me down to the bone like a Hebrew slave. See, they're trying to get their lick back because I took off because I was sick last week. So then when I come back, they try to double up the work. Just low down. And baby, I gotta get me some sleep. Before I go back to work. And things. Ooh, baby. Look at all these motherfuckers coming over here by me. I don't know what you're coming over here by me for. Shit. And here come another one now. I don't want y'all garbage ass over here by me. The fuck? Ooh, it's a damn shame I can't go and park in these damn parking lots in peace. Damn. Whew. Got these garbage motherfuckers coming over here and looking all in my mouth. Out of everywhere they could go, they coming over here by me. They're coming over here by me. Ugh. But anyway, let me try to come over here. Oh, baby, I gotta go get me something to eat. And then I'm gonna hit the road. And go to this other little small town in Mississippi. Like I said, I might as well be a truck driver. I'm going to all these cities and all these towns trying to find some peace and quiet. I might as well be a truck driver. You hear me? I would make a little bit more money being a truck driver. Oh, child. Woo. Y'all hold on. I got to whip my hair. I can't whip my hair like I want to. Sitting right here. Y'all hold on. But yeah. And that's another thing. I just thought about this too. That's another thing. The bed bug juice. The dried bed bug blood on the sheets at the Econolodge when I first checked in. And then when I told the man, I think it was the same man that got nasty with me this morning with them dark circles around his eyes. Like a raccoon. See, I just believe people with dark circles around their eyes, they so low down. That's how they get them dark circles. All that hell is around them dark circles. That's where the hell is stored up. All that hell and low down it's in the dark circles. It's in the dark circles. Yeah, when you see somebody, especially when they're young or middle-aged, and they got dark circles around their eyes, you're looking at a low-down motherfucker that's full of hell. And that's what the hell is around them dark circles. Yes, I know a low-down motherfucker when I see them. And it's a one with dark circles around their eyes. What happened to my brush? I say? Yeah, I can't stand a dark circle around the eye, bitch. And then you got a smart mouth. You get the audacity. When you got dark circles around your eyes, you supposed to be so humble and nice and things. You supposed to be the nicest motherfucker. You ain't supposed to be low down and have a smart ass mouth. The fuck? Where's my brush? Whew, there it is. Yeah. Now this is not a law. This is not an ordinance. This is not a statute, nor is it a commandment. But I just believe when you got dark circles around your eyes, you're supposed to be nice. You're not supposed to be nasty. Okay. But that's how they got them dark circles, being nasty. A dark circle, hair around the eye, hell raiser. Hell, oh, I bet he raised a lot of hell. Yes. Where's my talent? I can't find shit in this car. I can't find nothing in this car. There it is. I'm sitting on it. It's on my ass. Where it ain't supposed to be. But yeah. When you first go to the hotel, examine them sheets. I used to didn't examine the sheets, but now I done started examining the sheets when I go to the hotel room. Some people, they say they take their own sheets. It's a damn shame you got to take your own sheets, your own linen to the hotel. But some people been saying that they do. And baby, that night I started to go to Walmart. But I was too tired. I started to go to Walmart and get my own sheets. And what you call that thing? A mattress cover. I felt so nasty. I say. I felt like a nasty girl laying on them nasty sheets with the dried bed bug blood. I know bed bug blood when I see it. Dried bed bug blood. And I said, ooh, I wanted some bed bugs in here. I hope it ain't no bed bugs in here. And I was looking up under the sheet, examining the mattress. I didn't see no bed bugs. But just because you don't see them don't mean they're not there. And I said, when is the bed bugs taking a nap? I said, man, I hope ain't no bed bugs in here. And I was so nervous. Ooh, I was so nervous. And I said, it's either some bed bugs in here or it used to be some bed bugs somewhere in this hotel, and they don't wash them sheets along with some other sheets. And I don't know what bed that them sheets came off of, but they low down self don't wash them sheets and dry them and then put them on this bed. I think that's what the latter. I think that's what happened, cause it didn't look like no fresh blood from the bed bugs. You know them bed bugs, they leave that little dog circle, little small circle from the blood. They done bit somebody. And left that little drop of blood on the sheets. A lot of little polka dots. It was like polka dot. The sheets were like polka dot. And I know what bed bug blood sheets look like. I know what they look like, because where I came from, down there in Hernando, Mississippi, when I stayed over there the past year with that old white man. Oh, I got a story to tell about that. Baby, I was in bondage. With that old white man. Racist, undercover racist. And I didn't tell y'all about that, but I will. When I have time. It ain't gonna be today. But baby, that's why I wasn't making not too many videos. I couldn't, because he was nosy as hell, listening to everything I say. I couldn't say shit, because he was listening to everything I say. He was real nosy, messy, like Donald Trump and things, and got the nerve to not like Donald Trump. Got the nerve, and he just like, people that just like, they can't get along. So that's what category that fit in. But anyway, yeah. He had bed bugs. That's why the place was so cheap. When I stayed over there in Hernando, Mississippi, I like Hernando, even though they got a lot of races over there. Lot of races in that sundown town. And and then they got a lot of police that don't play the radio over there. They don't play the radio. They looking for some niggas to come over there and act a fool over there. So that's part of the reason why I stayed over there, because it was just like having some bodyguards, and I didn't have to pay them. The police, they everywhere, just like some personal bodyguards and things, and I didn't even have to pay them. So that's part of the reason why I stayed over there, dealing with that racist ass white man and the motherfucking bed bugs. And then when I left from over there, I thought I had a place, and it was a terrible decision that I made. That's how I got out here being homeless. That's how I got out here fucked up and homeless again. I made my move too soon, in other words. That's going to be the chapter. That's going to be the name of the chapter of that book. When I write my book about being homeless, I made my move too soon. Yes. So, that's part of the cost that you have to pay being homeless and fucked up out here. When you don't have a supportive family, and you say fuck that family, and the family fumble you, and you cut them off like a past due light bill, and you don't give a fuck about them, and they don't give a fuck about you, and you on your own out here. And you don't give a damn about looking back for the people that's done left you. Okay, this is what this, and then you got bad credit, and I'm not ashamed to say I got bad credit. Fuck that credit. I still gonna get what I gotta get, even if it's gonna take me a little longer. Okay, and I'm trying to rebuild my credit, but I'm gonna do it one day at a time. But this is part of what comes with. This is what I'm trying to say to you. This is what part of what comes with standing on business, as it relates to standing on your own, and not dealing with a whole lot of fake ass people that's got a whole lot of fake love and wishy-washy and this and that, and you say fuck them people and just deal with real people. It ain't a lot of real people out here. So when you got bad credit, and you know you already struggling, and you got standards, and you standing on business as them standards. People don't like you when you have standards. And I could go someplace where it's real ragged and ghetto and disturbing, and there's a whole lot of heathens, and it's cheap, 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 cheap. But I have standards, okay? So this is what I got to deal with. This what come with it when you got standards, and people don't like for you to have standards and complain about bed bugs and drugs and prostitution and nastiness and this, that, and other. They want that to be acceptable. Okay, that because they done normalize it. They done normalize being nasty and drug addicted and fucked up and staying up all night long, walking the floor and disturbing. Yeah, they done normalize that. That's not normal to me, and I'm not gonna never allow that to be normal. Okay, to me. So, that's what you got to deal with until you can do better. Okay, and I could easily go over there to Memphis and get a place today if I wanted to, but I don't want to stay in Memphis. I don't want to stay over there. Baby, you couldn't give me a house over there in Memphis. It's too terrible. It's way too diabolical over there. Okay. And as a matter of fact, I had applied for a place back in November, and I had got approved. And I thought it was a real nice place, but it wasn't nothing but another pretty ass ghetto. I know a pretty ghetto when I see it. And baby, I had got approved and everything. And I told that woman when it was time for me to move in, I said, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do this, because I could see the hood rats out there walking around. And I could see one car had already got broke in, glass on the ground, and then the leasing agent gonna pretend like she didn't see it when she would give me a walkthrough. How do I see the broken glass on the ground and you don't see it? That's part of your job, to see broken glass on the ground. Okay, a car that's done got broke in, and I don't want mine broke in. And you gonna get your car broke in when you stay in Memphis. That's just part of staying in Memphis. You gonna get shot up. You may or may not survive, and your car gonna get stolen. You can't have nothing nice in Memphis, okay? Because it ain't nobody, not too many, maybe one or two people nice in Memphis, okay? Okay, but yeah. So I don't know why this wig is so dry. I can't stand a dry ass wig. Baby, this thing ain't taking none of this water. It ain't taking none of this water. So how y'all doing today on 4th of July? Happy 4th of July. Those of you that are celebrating 4th of July. I don't celebrate 4th of July. I don't celebrate it. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay. And I really consider this the heathen holiday. A lot of the heathens, they already smoke dope every day. They gonna smoke more dope today. Ooh, baby, it ain't gonna be safe outside today at all whatsoever. The people, the alcoholics that drink, they gonna drink even more today than they ordinarily would. And the people that shoot and cut and kill, they gonna do more of that than they ordinarily would do. And yeah, it's gonna be real satanic today. Oh, and the people that like to shoot guns, that I bet they're excited about this holiday right here. They gonna be able to shoot and get away with it. And they gonna be shooting all night long. I mean, they just make this holiday right here just terrible, terrible. Oh, it's just gonna feel like terrorism out here. And it'll be easy for the ops to blend in. Iran, I'm pretty sure they want to get their lick back. And, Donald Trump done get something started with all of them over there. So you better be careful about being in a big crowd of people today. I would advise it. Because I don't think it's going to be safe at all. You hear me? And then I think that's so inconsiderate too. The people that's popping these firecrackers and guns and things and causing all this disturbance and getting away with it because it's the 4th of July. I think they so low down too and uncivilized. They don't give a damn about scaring the dogs and the babies and the old folks. And the old folks and the dogs and the babies got to just listen at this shit and be terrorized all night long. My God. And whatever hotel I go to, I pray to God they don't be shooting firecrackers around there. And then oh Lord, I'm be at my job, and my job is closer. Oh, it's close to a heathen neighborhood. They probably gonna be shooting and popping firecrackers all night long, and I'm gonna have to listen at that shit. Whew, my God. Oh, they gonna be terrible in the streets tonight, especially over there in Memphis, baby. They got started a little bit last night as a preview. They were exercising yesterday. And they really, really, really gonna be terrible tonight. They gonna be so terrible tonight, I predict. But anyway, yeah, I have no regrets about checking out of the Econolodge. And it's a semi-decent hotel. They could be better. Especially when it comes to whoever that is spraying the hell out of that Fabuloso. I can't stand a Fabuloso bitch. And they got some Mexicans over there doing the housekeeping along with some of them Indians. I can't tell who is who because they look just alike. Them Indians and the Mexicans, they look just alike. But whoever it is that decided to use the hell out of that Fabuloso, I'm so mad at them. I mean, they just overdo it. When I smell an overbearing odor and it's an odor. It's not an aroma. It's an odor. I cannot stand Fabuloso. It don't take but a little bit. Shit. And they just overdo it like people that use body spray as a substitute for a shower or a bath. You know, it's overpowering, it's overbearing. That smell is just overbearing. And that's a red flag that that person ain't took no bath or no shower. When it's just so loud, the body spray is just so loud, that person right there ain't took no shower, no bath. And they don't use that body spray in lieu of a shower, in lieu of a bath. And that person, when you go in somebody's house or a hotel or whatever the case may be, and you smell a overbearing, loud smell of Fabuloso or Pine Sol, most of the time it's gonna be that Fabuloso. That's their go-to chemical right there. That Fabuloso, they love to use that Fabuloso, and they use so much of it. They just do too much with it. Okay, they have not cleaned that place. They just done took a shortcut. Oh, listen. Ooh, the police is in hot pursuit over here in South Haven, Mississippi. They done got started. I told you they gonna show out today. Didn't I tell y'all that? They getting started early. They getting started early. Ooh, and the heathens, they determined to overthrow South Haven. They working on it. This used to be such a nice little town. And they are transforming South Haven one heathen at a time, day by day. Yes. They working on it. They going to have this like Memphis in the next 2 or 3 years. The next 2 or 3 years, this is going to be Memphis number... I'm going to say Memphis number 3. Or is it Memphis number 2? No. Because Horn Lake is Memphis number 2. And somebody had the nerve on Facebook, Mario is his name, on Facebook, on the What's Happening in Horn Lake Facebook group. He had the nerve to be offended by people trying to compare Horn Lake to Memphis. And I had to make a comment. I had to. And I told him, there is no difference. They twinning. Memphis and Horn Lakes are twins. Okay? It's no difference. Can anybody GPS the difference? I don't see a difference. They are so terrible in Horn Lake, Mississippi. Oh, they so terrible. I hate to go to Horn Lake. Horn Lake used to be so nice and quiet and small and peaceful and cute. But now it is diabolical. Because a lot of them garbage ass heathens from Memphis done came over there and hijacked Horn Lake. And it done saturated Horn Lake with Memphis energy. Yeah, they done came over there. And moved over there. And everywhere they go, they just trash it. They just trash the place and just make it terrible. Yeah, their reputation precedes them. And they working on South Haven. They already done tried their best to hijack Olive Branch, but the police is they trying to stand on business. I don't know how long they gonna be able to stand their ground, cause that diabolical energy of Memphis is so strong. It's so strong and powerful, baby. They trying their best to uproot Olive Branch, and I don't start calling Olive Branch Memphis Junior. Memphis Junior. I don't start calling Olive Branch Memphis Junior. Yeah, they working on it. They show working. They show working on it. Yes, yes. But anyway, let me go and get me something to eat, and then I'm gonna go to this next little small town and check out this hotel, and hopefully, the heathens have not. Oh, look at this ass right here. I wish people would be more considerate of how they come outside looking. Ooh, they just don't give a damn. They just don't give a damn. And then everybody, can we agree that everybody's ass don't look good? And what they call that material? What do they call that material that the leggings is made out of? You know, they don't stop making them in shorts too. And look at him. Everybody can't wear a bodysuit. Everybody can. I see one girl coming in this store right here with a bodysuit on, and she looks so gross. This is the holiday where a lot of these hood rats gonna come out looking gross. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. And they just don't give a damn how they look nowadays. It just looks disgusting. And some of these guys be walking around with them. First of all, I wouldn't even be attracted to a girl that looks gross and carry herself gross when she come outside. I wouldn't even be attracted to this shit. But see, they get caught up when these girls do what they do with their mouth. So they give them grace. They give them grace and overlook how they look, how their body look, because they more concerned with how their mouth look. You hear me? They be more concerned about that. A lot of these guys, they ain't got no standards nowadays. And child, I just would not. If I was a man, I just would not be walking around out in public with somebody that looked real gross. I just wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. You got to have some standards. You got to have some standards. Can we make standards great again? Can we make having standards great again? Huh? You don't even have to have high standards. Just have some standards. Damn. Ooh. But anyway, I got some standards when it comes to these hotels. Okay? I got some standards when it comes to these hotels. And I am not gonna lay around in a hotel where I can't get no fucking sleep. Okay? Paying all this money and can't get no fucking sleep. These people are crazy as hell. Okay? They don't give a damn about respecting you, and if you can get some sleep and peace and quiet. Hotels used to be peaceful and quiet. Damn. They done turned the hotels into a trap house. A full-blown trap house. I know a trap house when I see it. And then the Econolodge trying to turn theirs into a playground. The fuck? Trying to turn theirs into a playground with them motherfucking kids out there. Damn. Yeah, get their kids out there playing, riding bicycles and shit, all in front of the door of the guest. Baby, if that ain't raggedy and ghetto, woo, my God. I never thought I'd see the day. I know I heard all that noise out there the other day. And I said, I know this ain't no children out here playing like they on the playground. Baby, I pulled back that curtain and there it was right outside my door. I said, is this a dream or a nightmare? What is this? What is this? Is this the Twilight Zone? Where am I? I know damn well these people ain't got their children out here playing like they on a motherfucking playground. And they was. Shit. And they didn't have no shame. And didn't give not no dams. You hear me? They didn't give. And then I called the office and talked to the boy that was running the show that evening. And He asked me, I said, ain't there some children out here playing in front of my door? And he said, are they disturbing you? I said, they really are. I said, I got to get some sleep because I got to go to work later on tonight. He said, oh, okay. I'll ask them to be quiet a little bit. I asked them to be quiet. Baby, I don't know if that was the lie or if that was the truth. Or if them children didn't pay him no attention. Or the mammy. I don't know which one it was. But I know them children kept on playing. I do know that. I do know that. Yes. Woo! Mm. First, it was the hood rats causing disturbance at the hotel with the marijuana. And hell, when was the last time? And see, I used to be nervous about the hood rats going to the hotel doing all that fucking and sucking dick, and I would be subjected to having to listen to it. But when, and I asked myself the other day, when was the last time I heard somebody fucking on the other side of the wall, or on top of me, or up under me at a hotel? I haven't heard that. Thank God, I haven't heard that in a long time. You know why? Because they more concerned about smoking dope. They don't stop fucking and sucking dick at the hotel, I think. And I'm being more disturbed by the dope smoking nowadays. I'm not being subjected to listening to some sucking and fucking at the hotel. And I thank God for that. I thank God for that. And I asked myself the other day, like I said, when was the last time I heard somebody fucking and sucking dick at the hotel on the other side of the wall? It's been years. It's been years. Thank God. Thank God. And now they don't replace that with the marijuana smoking and slamming the doors and bringing their fucking children to the motherfucking hotel in the Holiday Inn. Yes. And see, you got all them single baby mama hood rats bringing their children there because they using the hotel for a house. They using the hotel for a house. So I guess that's why you don't hear a whole lot of fucking and sucking dick, because I guess they pretend like they don't want to do it in front of their children, or maybe they wait till their children go to school and things. Ain't that a hot mess? Yes, it is. But anyway, I done checked out of the Econolodge, and like I said, they were relatively clean, other than those sheets being nasty with that dried bed bug blood. Okay. And I did report that to the front desk, and then he had them housekeeping heifers to come and change the sheets. I shouldn't even have to tell you that. You should have been checking the sheets and recognized the blood before I did. The dried dried bed bug blood. That's a tongue twister almost. Dry blah 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 blah. Can y'all say that real fast? Dry blah blah blah. I can't say it real fast. Can you say it real fast? It's a tongue twister. That's like a tongue twister and thing. It's I twisted my tongue to say it fast. Dry blah blah blah. I can't hardly say it. Can y'all say it fast? Dried. Let's do the dried bed blood. Damn, I can't say it fast. Let's do the dried bed bug blood challenge. Damn. Okay. I don't know what the prize is gonna be, but let's see who can do it. Y'all see if it fast, cause I can't do it. I can't do it. Dried bed blood. I cannot say it fast. Can anybody say it fast? It's a tongue twister. But anyway,